Hi everyone. Haven't posted a video in a long time, so actually this is my new channel, and I've already posted a couple of small ones, but I wanted to show my sumo wrestler scans and the subsequent prints. This thing is the best scan I've done so far with the Revopoint POP. I love that scanner. I am showing you the detail here because that's what I really wanted to get, um, specifically the hands and of course the face. But this, my wife inherited from her Japanese stepmom when she passed, and I've wanted to scan it for a long time because I think it's really a neat little figurine. So decided to put this video up here and show you what I did. This is the original here. It's made of some plaster material with paper embedded in it or something. I wanted to show you the toes here. That little toe is kind of tweaked, maybe like my little toes, but the bottom has a little crack in it. Of course, that is really immaterial. I wanted to show you all the angles here, specifically the hair. Now, the hair was hard to do. The hair I had to spray with the dry spray shampoo to get it to show up. I had done previous scans. Now, here's after the scan. I put it into Handy Scan, and that's mostly what I've used for touching up all these models because I'm not expert enough in the computer modeling software yet. Not that I ever would be expert, but you see the detail's pretty good, but it's still a little muted. Just I expect it's at the limit of the resolution. I don't think I could get any more detail than that. Has a rough surface finish. Look inside the model there. At this point, see, I'd already clipped it. I hadn't really intended on showing the whole process, but that's what I ended up doing. Try to clean up a little bit of that stuff on the bottom. And there he is. Just a little bit of junk left there, and that'll pretty much fall off in the resin print, or in the filament print. It's printed, but it just comes off like supports. I printed this with a raft because the bottom wasn't very even. I had trouble getting it level and flat, so I printed it with a raft so that it would not fall over, so it would actually print. And I went through the smoothing. You see it has a smoother surface finish now. Now, I plan to get good enough with the modeling programs such as Blender and Mesh Mixer and Mesh Labs to be able to do this. Now, here we go into my Ender 5 Plus. I got this printer specifically for printing large objects like this. This was a 2.5-day build to print that Sumo in PLA. It's pale peach was the color. Thought it looked more like flesh than the flesh color that I have. And there he is finished. Just have to take supports off. And there he is with the supports off. And you'll see I only took the supports off. I haven't done any sanding, finishing, cutting. You see all those little dimples and hairs sticking out. That's just the result of 3D printing. You see there's a glob right there that I when I get good enough in software, I could take that out. But for right now, it's just going to have to stay and be some little detritus looking bit of stuff stuck on there. All the little zits and pimples and stuff on there can be taken down and painted like the original. That would be my hope, that I could get it to look like the original, but not with that lousy paint job somebody tried. One of the reasons I wanted to scan it was so that I could get someone, maybe artistic, to paint the reproduction for me. See the layer lines in the hair too. That can be taken down with sandpaper and emery cloth, whatnot. Filing, cutting, all those typical techniques. See, there's the fuzzy stuff on the mat that I use for the bottom there, the raft, you see the roughness in the face, lack of detail in the ears. But like I say, that can be done with hand finishing on the material, or it could be done in software prior to printing. That's what really should be done. And I got to get better at it, of course. I can do a little bit. I learned how to smooth in Blender. Now there is one at that was printed at 0.05 millimeter layer resolution on my resin printer, my Photon Mono. And again, there's all I did was take the supports off. There's no finishing that's been done, no processing. This is just like it comes out of the printer. You see it looks pretty good. I actually reversed this when I mirror imaged it, so he's posing the other way. And you see the holes in the bottom. You have to allow for drainage of the resin. And I'm still learning on the resin printing too. Got my supports embedded too deeply, so they didn't come out cleanly off his back. It looks like he has pimples all over his back. But it's a learning process. And you'll see on the next one, well, not the next one, this one here, I'm going to show you. This is a gold one. I printed this on my Prusa, my i3 Mark III Prusa in gold PLA at, I think, 0.1 millimeter layer height. So this was the same as, but it's pretty nasty because it gets hard to print down at that resolution, at that scale. Some boogery places, but my filament might be an issue too. I haven't printed with that in a long time, so it might be a little moist or something, but not bad. And his leg broke off, his right leg broke off when I was taking the supports off, so I glued it back just for demonstration so I could show you. And now we have the last one. This one is 15% scale of the original. It's printed at 0.01 millimeter layer height, which is the max resolution of my Photon Mono. I got my my supports squared away so that his back is nice and clean. Everything looks nice and clean on this one. And I'd really like to find someone that could paint it, but I'm not good enough. My eyes aren't good enough. And there you have it, the Sumo collection.